which is, of course,
Another Marvel-related topic.
it's the Spider-Man No Way Home second trailer that has been long awaited.
Yes.
What are your thoughts when you first saw it?
My first thoughts are, where are the other Spider-Men? Where are the other Spider-Men? I want to see the other Spider-Men. Why aren't they showing the other Spider-Men?
At this point, at this point, the fact that they didn't show Daredevil or the other two Spider-Men is a little bit comical considering that those three characters are the worst kept secrets in Hollywood right now. They are the worst kept secret. I mean, have you seen the leaks? The leaked pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're everywhere. Like everyone knows Daredevil and the Spider-Man from the Sam Raimi films, Tobey Maguire, and the Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, are in the movie. I mean, we kind of thought they would show up because, I mean, we're getting their villains, but they're definitely there. And we know they've just been edited out of the trailer. Like, there's a GIF going around of, it's like Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's getting ready to fight Electro, Lizard, and Sandman,
And
and
then
they're jumping towards him.
and then all of a sudden you see Lizard getting punched by nothing. Like he has the body motions of getting punched in the face, but nothing is punching him. So clearly someone didn't do a good job with the trailer.
And now some people are saying it's Venom. No, Venom is probably going to be in a post-credit scene. More likely than not, this movie is already going to be way too big, and I doubt they want to put Tom Hardy Venom in it. So I don't think that's Venom punching Lizard. I do think that's probably going to be Andrew Garfield. But it's so funny that they didn't edit it out. How do you forget to edit it out? It's so prominent. Like, if you just look at the trailer, you can just see Lizard's head just go, and it's like, what? You don't just get dramatic head spasms that clearly jerk your head in a punching motion?
Hey, that's optimal strategy for approaching your opponent.
But at this point, it's the worst kept secret. But actually, to the trailer itself, I thought the trailer was great.
Hearing the voiceover from Willem Dafoe was fantastic.
It,
I
it was.
cannot wait to see this movie because the fact that they are bringing back all these actors is, again, it's the worst kept secret in Hollywood, but we all want it.
Yes. And for those who haven't kept up because their names are not as big, but yes, Thomas Hayden Church is coming back as Sandman, Flint Marko, and we're also getting Reese Ifen as Lizard, Dr. Kirk Connors.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be really cool. My favorite part of the trailer was my sister and I, we watched the trailer when it first came out, and Strange is like, I'm sorry, Peter. And Peter's like, me too. And you see him like take the cube and run away. And my sister's like, what you doing, Peter? You ain't that guy. And the next scene is literally Doctor Strange pulling him and astral projecting his body out. And it's just like, yeah, Peter ain't that guy. He's not that guy. He just got wrecked.
Honestly,
Oh my god, it's like, no, Peter, you're not that guy. There's been a fan theory going around that Dr. Ock is going to steal the nanotech of the Iron Spider suit.
which we saw a little bit of in the trailer.
Yeah, we see him pin Peter to a column when he's in the Iron Spider suit. And then later on in this trailer, we see him from a different angle, and now there's red going across his arms, which most likely is the Iron Spider nanobots.
Which is tough to like. At first, it was tough for me to like. Okay, this is a man from from the early 2000s. How does he know anything about nanotech? But then you forget the arms are controlled by AI. It is entirely feasible that they could steal his tech
Oh yeah,
because, like, Doc Ock himself, probably not, because the worst that he could do was create like a failed energy source
yeah.
in the middle of the harbor. But the arms themselves, they're controlled by AI. They have the complete ability to understand what is going on with his suit and be able to take that technology for themselves.
And we've even seen this concept happen already in Marvel because we saw Arnim Zola take down Ultron in an AI battle. He took
Yeah.
over Ultron's body. So we already know in Marvel that AIs can fight each other, and if one loses, the other AI will assimilate it.
Yeah, especially because Arnim Zola was a scientist who mainly worked in the 40s, died several decades later, and created uh, Zol- uh, the algorithm.
The Zola algorithm,
Yeah,
which also housed his own consciousness that became an AI, and it took down Ultron, which is an AI that is a mixture of Jarvis and the Mind Stone. Which, if Arnim Zola can do that, I can imagine Otto Octavius's AI taking over the Iron Spider.
yeah,
So that will be really interesting. What else we've seen is
yeah. It was
they've
just
mentioned that all the guys there have died fighting Spider-Man, which is a little weird.
especially for Sandman.
Sandman, because
It wasn't.
Sandman didn't die fighting him.
It wasn't implied that he died. If anything, they ended the movie on good terms.
Yeah. So a little weird. Little sketch on that regard.
Like maybe he was pulled from the angriest point in his timeline
Maybe after Peter just ran his face across a subway train.
and drowned him.
Maybe then.
maybe that's where he was taken from and then put back in the movie to reconcile with Spider-Man later, which would create a mess.
Nope. We're not going down that way. No, don't even finish it. We're not going down that way. Let us not think about the logistics of that. Please let us just assume that this Sandman is just doing this against his will.
Yeah, because I mean, Doc Ock implied that they're fighting like ghosts, but I feel like that wasn't to be taken literally.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a metaphor.
Yeah.
Because that implies that they're fighting husks and representations of Spider-Man's rogues gallery, which I'm
pretty sure they're just straight up variants.
Yeah.
And by variants, I mean they're just the ones from the movies.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they're like husks that are out to target Tom Holland Spider-Man. I think that they like have their conscience, not like, oh, they're ghosts targeting you. Like,
and also they even like Doc Ock even looks at Tom Holland Spider-Man and says, "You're not Peter."
Yeah,
clearly indicating that
and
he's looking for a Peter that looks like Tobey Maguire.
And he has his own consciousness and like mostly free will.
I mean, it's the AI's free will.
True. Well, free will in the essence of the character himself.
Yeah. So I think it's mainly that these are people that were taken from the moments before their deaths, and Sandman was taken from the end of Spider-Man 3, and he's just kind of here along for the ride. Maybe they're like, you'll die like the rest of us or something. I don't know. I don't know how they'll convince him to join.
Yeah.
The other four, yeah, they're kind of fucked if they go back.
Especially because it's implied that a lot of them will come towards the end.
Yeah. And so the big thing that this movie also showed is that Ned and MJ are going to be in the Sanctum Sanctorum, which a little weird, a little surprising, just because, I mean, Doctor Strange letting Peter in makes sense. Save the universe. Ned and MJ, they're two random kids.
I mean, they were like 2 of 4 people excluded from the spell.
The spell failed.
Yeah.
They straight up said the spell failed, so I doubt that matters. The world still knows who Spider-Man is. If anything, I think how they're going to resolve the Spider-Man thing is you're going to see multiple Spider-Men, and they're going to be like, so how do we know it's really Peter Parker? There was 3 of them. Also, what do you think about the black suit? Obviously, it's not the symbiote.
It's not going to be Venom suit.
We all know it's not Venom suit, but what do you think about the fact that it's probably a magic-based suit?
Which I think it's more necessary to like trap them.
Yeah.
For example, I think that's going to be the purpose of it, because we do see Doc Ock trapped in a basement of unknown location.
And they're like, "What's your name, Doctor Otto Octavius?"
I do like that they're being cheeky with how cheesy the first trilogy was.
And they're like, "No, really, what's your name?" Because I mean, think about it. Everyone else has like a normal name: Norman Osborn, Flint Marko, Kurt Connors, Maxwell Dillon.
And then you have Otto Octavius, literally a joke they made, gi- uh, given by J. Jonah Jameson, is like, imagine a guy with 8 arms named Otto Octavius, and he was literally the one to give the name Doc Ock.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like
literally,
it's a joke.
literally, that was a 2-minute joke in the original trilogy.
Yeah, but I think the movie is going to be great. I know that them, like when the other two Spider-Men show up, it will be the Captain America pulling up Mjolnir. It will be that scene. I think it will be that scene. We have that level of hype. When we see Matt Murdock, it's also going to be really hype. The scene that I've heard he's going to be in is going to be really cool. Apparently, he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm a good lawyer." And then someone throws a brick at Peter, and Matt catches it without looking. He's like, "I'm a very good lawyer," which I think is going to be really cool if it's true. Just because, yeah, Matt does that.
I mean, mind you, ever since probably 2015-16, he's been running his own
Let me back in the MCU, please.
he's been running his own law firm doing stuff, so maybe he took a backseat to vigilante justice, but
I mean, let's be honest. No, he didn't.
I mean, knowing his character, no, he didn't.
He has a truce with Kingpin, but that doesn't mean he has a truce with the rest of the crime.
True.
He only had a truce with Kingpin. And there's still, he probably still was looking for Elektra, if anything else.
And there's still Bullseye to watch out for.
I mean, to his knowledge, Bullseye's paralyzed.
True.
I mean, let's be honest here. Was anyone expecting, if you were in the show and you saw what they saw, Kingpin broke his back against a column. Within the same universe, that killed Lamar. Do you honestly think they're expecting Bullseye to come back?
Yeah.
In universe.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no. He's not worried about him. If anything, he's just looking for more bad guys to beat up.
Yeah.
But anyways, overall, trailer is hyped. I cannot wait for this movie. We have little over a month.
Oh god, this wait is going to be dreadful.
But at least we will have Hawkeye to tide us over.
That is true.
Hawkeye comes out next month, and not next month, next week. Jesus. It comes out next week, and I cannot wait because it's going to be hype. We're going to see more of the New York criminal underbelly, meaning we're going to get more notable villains. Like, so far, we know that the Tracksuit Mafia is going to be in it. We know that the villain Clown is going to be in it. And we know that Yelena Belova will also show up at some point. Because, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, she told her, if you want to find the man responsible for your sister's death, here he is.
Yeah. And showing her Hawkeye.
Yeah. Which, my question is still, how do you know that? Is the story of Vormir now, public knowledge? How is this known? How do they even know that she died in another? How do they even know that he's responsible? How do they just not think? I know that the Battle of New York was publicized because they referenced the fact that Wanda could have beaten Thanos if he didn't call his ship to shoot her down. Which I'm still puzzled how that's even public knowledge, but given the amount of people there, it makes sense that it got leaked. But the stuff on Vormir, however, how was that leaked?
Yeah.
Because, even when it came to, announcing the people that died in Far From Home, they only mention Vision, Iron Man, and Captain America. They don't even mention Black Widow.
Maybe they'll show, a flashback scene of him giving, memoriam to Black Widow as a character.
Okay, but then that doesn't explain how they know that he has an involvement in her death.
He could give a little light.
We traveled to an alternate timeline where we fought each other about who got to kill themselves first, and I lost.
Okay, fair enough.
How on earth is he explaining that?
Fair enough.
Yeah. I want to know how that even happened, but we'll get that explanation when the show comes out.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm excited. Can't wait. Marvel's still coming out with fun and exciting things.
Yeah. But moving on.